Hi everyone, my name's June Collins. I'm 85 years old and I've never been happier. I am having the time of my life. People come to me and they say, you don't look your age. And they say, you don't act your age. And I say, no, and I don't think my age. I don't know why that is, but it just is. So I got to thinking about this. You know, I've tried to retire so many times, and every time I retire, I'm bored. And then I got to thinking about friends I have who are even younger than me, and they've retired. And sad to say, some of them have become bored and also boring. I hate to say that, but it's true. And what I find happens, too many people retire and they don't do enough. They don't keep fully living. We have to fully live every day of our life. We have to have a purpose to get out of bed. And it's not just to cook the breakfast, to walk the dog, to clean the house, to watch television. We have to have something that we've still got a passion for. So I have thought for a long time that I wanted to inspire other people to keep living fully the way I am, because every day is meant to be lived. It's a gift. What I find with a lot of people is they've worked hard all their life and they've dreamed about these days when they could just lay in the sun and do this or do that, maybe go fishing. That all sounds fine. But what I found is after a while it palls. That's why I say you have to have a purpose. Now, people that don't have a purpose, what happens to them is after a while they're not working, so they're not leaving the house enough, they're not doing enough, they're not meeting enough new people. So when their family or their friends come to visit, they start repeating stories of what they did in the days when they were working or doing more. After a while, the people get a little bored and they make their visits shorter, and eventually they don't come at all. And what happens? Then that person is lonely. It shouldn't be that way. It's not meant to be that way. I don't care what you do, you've got to get out. If it's volunteering, if it's joining clubs, you've got to keep your friends. And you can't keep your friends if you don't keep living. Life is for living. On today's episode, I have two wonderful friends who are going to be talking to you. But first of all, I'd better tell you a little bit about myself. I started out as a dancer and I traveled the world. And then I became a whistleblower. That's unusual. And after that, I was running a trucking company in Alaska. And after that, I was cooking on a crab fishing vessel in the Bering Sea. I think I was a little crazy at that time. Then I settled down and started running shops. I bought a few shops in Seattle. And during that time, I adopted 6 children and raised them. They came from all over the world. But now, in my old age, I live on a quiet mountaintop in Australia, and I write books and I collect antiques. But today I have 2 very diverse friends here, and I would like to introduce you to them.
Hi, I'm Glover-Hovan. I'm 80 years of age, going on for 81 in a few months. I'm a cosmetic tattoo practitioner. I actually pioneered that into Australia in 1985, and I help people to look better, feel better and feel good. I live in an over 50s where we have a wonderful social life and activity. We do lots of wonderful things. I go on trips. I've been to the Kimberleys and trekked through caves up to my knees in water, climbed boulders. I've had fun, but I enjoy life, and I think the older you get, you have the freedom of making the decision to do whatever you want to.
Hi, my name's Siva. I met June probably 7 or 8 years ago and found that she really epitomises the values that I think everybody should have in life. You really have to live life to the fullest. And as you can see, I'm in my dinosaur phase at the moment. I was lucky enough to move up to the mountain before I retired, and having retired up here, I've found there's so many things that I can do, and I can just indulge in the things that I really want to do. So community, there's lots of stuff to do which I really enjoy getting involved in. And yeah, as I said, I'm in the dinosaur phase of my life now because I can deal with dinosaurs. I can go out and dig them up, and I can write about them, and I can just do what I like. It's wonderful.
And I'm so glad you ladies introduced yourselves, but I have to say, Rose, I think you always downplay yourself and your achievements. For example, when you went on, you said you write the books. Yes, you do. But where do you get that information from? You go out to the darn desert and you dig up the bones, and then you not only dig them up.
No.
Tell me what you do.
I don't actually dig them up because...
Oh, I'm disappointed. We're disappointed.
Just figure it out. If you're going to dig it up, you've got to get down on your hands and knees, and there's the flies and the hurt, the dirt and the everything.
Nothing
And when
to
you get old,
So,
it's hard to get up.
So what I do is I wait till they've dug them up, and then they bring them to the prep shed, and they're all covered in plaster and rock and stuff like that. So I can sit in the prep shed and I can work on the bones, and I know there's a bone there because somebody else has already found it.
Yeah.
And I can sit there and I can go to the loo or have a coffee anytime I want, and I'm sitting out of the heat and out of the flies. I'm not silly.
So whereabouts
So
do you
you're
go?
cleaning the bones.
Cleaning the
You're
bones.
cleaning, and you had to learn to clean. Who taught you to clean the bones?
David Elliott out at Winton, which is Longreach and another couple of hours out from there. And what happened was that he gave a talk at the Queensland Museum on Australian dinosaurs. And I went, seriously? Australian dinosaurs? No. So I went to the talk, and he gave this wonderful talk about the bones that he'd found on his cattle property. And he said, so we need people to come out to Winton. You'll need a four-wheel drive. We're 120 clicks out of Winton. Oh, and by the way, you can stay at the shearer's quarters, but you need to be able to cook, and we'll teach you how to work on bones. Well,
Wow.
who can turn down an offer like that?
Yes.
So,
That's
but
great.
it's one of the things you either love or you hate. And
Yes.
you're talking about doing things you like. Some people go and they're just over it in the first half day.
Yes.
Other people like me, you've got to drag me away at lunchtime.
What month of the year do you go?
Not December or January.
I'm sure
That's
that,
not a
yeah.
good time to go. But yeah, through the winter months.
So any time.
Yeah. Australian Age of Dinosaurs.
You see, the thing is with you that you got really intrigued by it. And a lot of people, when they get older, and I say you've got to be busy, they think that means cleaning, gardening, making yourself busy.
Playing
it's
golf.
not a matter of
Yes.
playing golf. It's not a matter of finding things to do and making yourself busy. It's a matter of finding something that really gives you a passion.
Yeah.
Like I have a passion
Yes.
for antiques.
Yes, you
and I
do.
get thrilled if I find a beautiful old antique
Yes.
and I can get it at a good price, then I'm happy. You found a passion for the bones. So I think that when we get old, it's not a matter of being busy to be busy. To have a real zest for life, which is what gives us a spirit and what keeps us going, is to get the passion.
Yeah.
We've got to
Exactly.
have the passion.
It's not being
Yes.
busy for the sake of being busy.
No. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I think it's so important because, you know, if you don't have a passion for what you do, what's the point in doing it?
Exactly.
And, you know, because it's all about, you know, creativity and achieving what you want to achieve and helping others.
Don't
and
you?
I think that's important.
But how do you think some people find that passion? Because we all know
Some people don't find their
No, they
who
passion.
don't have it.
And that's so sad. And when I think about people who work their whole life
Yes.
doing a job that they never liked,
Absolutely.
just to put a roof over their head and to eat, and then finally they've done their time and they've retired, and now what do they do?
Exactly.
I think-
Usually they die.
I think
A lot
too,
of
one
them.
of the things is that there's a, as we age, we get a fear of taking on new things.
But we shouldn't.
And,
We've
you
got
know,
to be
you know,
fearless.
You've heard that saying, if you want to be an old dog, you've got to learn new tricks. You know,
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
you've got to go.
That's so true.
Try it.
That's so true.
It is.
Yeah, that's great.
It is.
But also, Rose, you never talk about yourself much, but didn't you take off to Antarctica?
Oh yeah, that was a bucket list thing.
A bucket list.
Yeah, so I had to, that's a whole.
Did you cruise there or fly?
No, I went on a Russian icebreaker out
Oh, yeah,
at the bottom of
As
South
we do,
Yeah,
a Russian icebreaker.
So I had to get to South America and then get on the boat.
On your own?
Yeah,
She always does
So-
everything on her own.
and that was amazing because I swum at the Arctic and I camped on the ice. So
I think
Oh
that's
my
wonderful.
gosh.
if you're gonna go,
You got to do it
Do
right.
it,
You got to
yes.
do it right. Yeah,
Yes,
I think
well,
that's terrific.
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I've been wanting to go in one of those air balloons. That's
Oh, you
my
should
on
do
my
it.
bucket. Yeah, well, it's
That's-
on my bucket
Do you
list.
know what I do? Every
Shake the
time
bucket.
one of my grandkids has a birthday,
Yes.
if they live in this area, I take them on a hot air balloon.
Oh, how
All my
beautiful.
kids have gone on, all my grandkids
Isn't that
have
wonderful?
been on a hot air balloon, yeah.
I haven't done that, but I will.
I fell out of one
We'll hold
time.
you. We'll hold you to that.
No,
You
we'd
you
already
shake the bucket
landed.
and make it happen.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd come with you.
Would you?
I'd come with you. And it'll be the only time you'll get me quiet because that fire in the middle is very noisy and you can't talk. Every time I talk, the fire
So are
goes.
they up here in the
Yeah,
mountains?
oh no, down. You've got to go down
Go
the
down the
coast.
bottom.
I can
Right,
take you
okay.
down. Yeah, I go down quite. I've done it quite often. It's
Oh,
fun.
good. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's what you should do.
Well, you've got
do
to
all
do
those crazy
everything. You've got to
things,
do
yes.
everything. The only thing I haven't done yet is take the hang glider off the mountain.
I
No,
want to do
no,
that.
I
I want to do that.
Well,
No.
I actually was to do it on my 80th birthday, and my daughter was going to
late?
do it with me. No, it wasn't too late. It's never too late. And what happened was we went there. We had the appointment. You have to have an appointment. And it was a very windy day, and the people taking us showed up and said, it's too windy, we can't go. I still regret that I didn't do it. It's
so
one of the,
when are you going to do it?
well, any time.
Well, didn't the
Anytime.
ex-president, you know, the ex-president in the United States, what's his name?
Clinton?
No. Before.
Obama?
No, before.
Don't know which one.
See, I can't remember.
Well, it's
Senior
old age,
moment.
babe.
It is. Anyway, he did it on his 90th
So
birthday.
there you
No,
go.
but- I know.
My aunt
It was
Dorothy.
Bush. Bush did it on
yes,
his 90th.
Father Bush.
See, we still got our memories.
It just takes time for it to happen.
My aunt Dorothy went paragliding, you know, behind the boat
Yes.
with the thing, at 101.
Can you get
Wow.
over that?
She made me do it with her.
Oh
and
my
Did you?
it
goodness.
scared
That's
the
incredible.
bejesus out of me. And she was like a shook. She was happy as. So that was the second time she did
gee.
it. She did it on her 100th and she did it again on her 101st.
Wow.
She must have enjoyed it to go again.
She's a hard act to follow.
Oh,
that.
sorry,
I
I
wonder if
never
we'll
met
be
her.
sitting here when we're 100,
Who
doing
knows?
this all over again.
I've got to tell you this. When I see other people that are 85 and they're on their walker and they're complaining and they're moaning and they're sad and they're lonely, I feel so sorry for them and I want to help them and I don't know how to help them. The one thing with old age, you can't help your health. And if
No.
people have bad health, they're very limited in what they can do.
That's true.
Every one of us that has good health, we've got to be so grateful
Very.
for what
Yeah.
we've got.
Yeah.
Very.
But there's a lot of when you get older, it doesn't matter if you, me, who it is. We all get little aches and pains.
Yeah.
You get tendonitis in the neck. But they're little things, and you've not got to focus on them. Once people have stopped working and they start to lose their friends usually when they stop working because they're not out there. You've got to be out there
That's
again.
right, you do.
And then what do? They start to focus on that tendonitis or on that
They do.
minor pain. And it can be a minor operation, a minor pain, but they keep reliving it to everybody because they've not got much else to talk about.
Yeah.
This is what they have to overcome.
Yes.
You must overcome that and try to push those minor ailments, not if you're
Exactly.
really sick, but the minor ones, because they will pull you down.
Yeah,
They'll
will.
pull you down.
So if you sort of look at things and go, instead of going, can I do this? Go,
You've got to challenge
why
yourself.
Can't I do this?
That's it. You've got, the older we get, the more we have to challenge ourselves.
We do.
When we stop challenging ourselves, we lose our spirit. And our spirit,
Yes.
we are losing our looks.
Yep.
I'm vain. I hate look. You never gave a damn, but you
I do.
care. I care, and you're losing your looks. You've got to work so hard to try to look halfway acceptable to yourself. But
I think
thing
the thing
is
is that you try and have other things that detract.
the spirit. You've got
from
to
the
have the spirit.
looks.
Because Rose never gave a darn about dressing fancy
Which
or
must
putting
be
makeup
wonderful.
on, but she has the spirit.
Yes.
And as long as you've got the spirit, that's the main
Yes,
thing. Then you
exactly.
never really look like the little old person that people want to hug and feel. I mean, I don't mind being hugged, but I don't want them to feel sorry for
No.
me.
Yeah.
When people try to help me and try to do things for me, I love it, but I jump in and try to do it myself before they can do it, because
I'm
I don't.
like that too.
I don't want people to feel sorry for me, like,
Yeah.
oh, this poor old lady. I want to jump up and say, no, I'm not a poor old lady.
It's true. My children my children never say to me, how are you, Mum? Because I've never been sick, touch wood.
They probably say to you, can you help me? And that grows thin sometimes.
I know.
Yeah,
But
it's like
yes.
little old lady is a career choice, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I think
yes.
so.
So
Unless you're
You're
extremely
full of
ill.
quotes and that. I
Yeah.
love it.
The other thing you say that I like, you say that your aunt, the aunt that I wish I'd met, I'd love to have met her.
Yes.
And what she says about the eyes, you said.
The eyes.
And the ears.
Oh, we've got 2 eyes and 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that means we listen and we look before we speak. So take in everything that's around you, observe, see the opportunities, do whatever before you judge it.
Exactly. That reminds me of when I was 23 years of age. I went back to work after having 4 children, and I went to the company Coca-Cola. I was green and uneducated, and because when you leave school at 14, you
In
don't
those
get any
days,
education.
we didn't get much education
And
anyway.
of course, one of the things I learnt was to watch and hear what the
Yeah.
management were doing. And I ended up in that company as public relations manager
Yep.
within 10 years because I kept my ears open,
We're like a
my eyes
sponge.
open, and
Yeah.
Well, I've kept
All
my
that.
mouth open as well.
that helped.
One of my problems.
But that's another thing. We've reached an age where we can be opinionated.
Yes.
You know, we're allowed to now. We're allowed
Exactly.
to wear the purple hat.
But the thing is, we can be opinionated, but we have to try to hide it a bit, because if you
Yes.
don't hide it a bit, you do turn people away. And my mother was very opinionated, and I am too. And we actually, I loved her dearly, but we used to clash a lot because we had such strong opinions.
Yeah.
So even you have a strong opinion, sometimes you have to know
when to keep your mouth
back
shut.
up,
Yeah.
back off.
Yeah.
When
Well,
I-
it's true.
can
I
have it,
tend
but
to
keep it to
keep
yourself.
myself closed so that I don't offend anybody.
No, and especially, well, I don't know, but when I lived in Florida, I had a little Jewish couple that were neighbours, and I adored them. They were the loveliest people. And one time they were having an argument about something, and the husband's side was wrong. I knew he was wrong. And finally his wife said to him, she said, "Oh, Si," she said, "you're right, I was wrong, I'm so sorry." And he left the room then, he was so happy. I said, "Harriet, why did you tell him that he was right? You know he was wrong." She said, "I know." She said, "But is it worth being right at the expense of peace?"
Yeah.
And she's
And,
right.
and she's right, but I would not have given in because I'm stubborn and opinionated, but she gave in.
Well, you see,
So
I
I'm
would
wrong,
have given in.
yeah, but I wouldn't. And I wish I was like her.
Yes.
But we are what we are, and I wasn't like
Yes.
her. But I
Yeah.
admire her for
Yeah.
being that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, ladies, I've enjoyed this little session with you.
Yes.
It's
Have
great.
you?
It's
Yes.
really
So
wonderful.
we might end it here, but possibly you might come back
Oh,
and
I'd
talk
love
with
to.
me another time. Would you like to
wonderful.
bring some of those old bones in to show the viewers?
Oh, we forgot to talk about our little books.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
So before
Yeah.
we leave, just show the books that you've got. You tell them about the book yourself.
Well, my book here is inside information about cosmetic tattoo. Being the pioneer of it in 1985 and bringing it into the country, it was a big coup for me. And of course, you know, this explains all about it, and it shows you a lot of the treatments. And this is the handbook that I hand out to medical practitioners to leave in their waiting room.
That's a wonderful service.
How many
It is.
books have you got now?
I've got four chapter books. They're for middle primary, and this last one, Dine Opal, was about Lightning Ridge.
Oh,
I
lovely.
went to Lightning Ridge for 3 weeks and did some research
Beautiful.
last year. So they're all aimed at encouraging primary school age kids to read. So that's why I've written those. So,
How wonderful.
and I have a website, rosesiva.com. So
Good.
check me out.
Wonderful.
Good.
Good.
I would like to close with a quote from Oscar Wilde. He said, "Most people don't live, they merely exist." Folks, prove him wrong. Get out there and live it up. Until next time, we thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Have to go.